Hey everyone, happy Canada Day, more specifically happy Dominion Day, as we are the Dominion of Canada. Um, really enjoy this day. I think it's as my American friends enjoy July 4th for the barbecue, fireworks, and beer. Us Canadians do the same, and I'm looking forward to that this afternoon, poolside with the family. Really want to take the opportunity to speak about kind of the historical context that Canada Day kind of brings up for me. I look at both kind of November 11th, Remembrance Day, Armistice Day, and Canada Day as the only truly meaningful holidays, other than enjoying the time off and the family time that Christmas and other holidays create. The ones that I appreciate and really reflect on and sync with my values are Canada Day and Remembrance Day, because they're about our country and about the opportunity that being a Canadian citizen affords me, my family, my friends, and my fellow citizens. Obviously, November 11th is about the sacrifice that men and women made in war to make that possible and ensure that freedom and that opportunity retains itself. And July 1st is a little bit more of a celebration and a little bit more fun. But I really look at, Canada's a great business deal. What became the British North America Act is a real estate, transportation, and technology deal framework that has created one of, without question, greatest countries on earth. Its citizens are extremely privileged to be so. We have geographic advantages that give us all kinds of resource advantages. In the democratic framework that was formed in the Articles of Confederation and then sealed in the British North American Act, have created a society that is one of the most fair and most democratic, inclusive in the world. They can all be better, but when we compare ours to everyone else's, we're a lucky group of people. And I look at that, and I kind of framed it as a real estate deal. Like, we had to secure this property from the Americans. They just had finished a very violent, very industrialized civil war that gave them a ton of capacity, lowered their desire happily, but a ton of capacity to take what they wanted. And as we know, there's a lot of resource value in the territory of Canada. And so we secured it both from what's called foreign invasion. War of 1812 kind of demonstrated that to a degree, and took over the dominion of this territory from the British Empire in order to control it, to create business outcomes fundamentally. Very much about the security of logistics, getting trade out of southern Ontario, upper Canada at the time, through the St. Lawrence River, up through the St. Lawrence Seaway, and to England and to Europe. And to do that, we had to go through Montreal and Lower Canada and Quebec. And you may have not seen the St. Lawrence Riverway. Pretty defensible place if our friends in Montreal and up through the rest of Quebec along the river decided that the boats weren't going to go through. They were not going to go through. So creating that deal structure that create the logistics outcomes, as well as obviously for the maritime provinces, of which I'm a proud son of Nova Scotia. The primary port out to Europe and the rest of the world was clearly in Halifax. Halifax, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island need to be connected into Ontario to be connected to the rest of British North America, English North America, through Quebec. And so the motivation of the maritime provinces was get a deal done with Quebec. So we have the land bridge through Quebec into what is now Ontario, Upper and Lower Canada at that time. And so that was an extremely important logistics deal, territory deal, and a ton of it was about setting the platform for technology infrastructure. And you're like, Scott, what are you talking about, technology infrastructure? It's 1867. It's trains. trains were the technology of the 19th century. We had to get trains that essentially go from Halifax to Vancouver. So part of the real estate deal was also creating access and dominion over the West, to get Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and British Columbia, as they would become, connected and within the real estate domain of the territory of Canada, so we could build that technology infrastructure, that the rail line across the country from coast to coast, and doing the political deal, doing the real estate deal, in order to enable the basic logistics that we had at the time of, getting ships up and down the St. Lawrence River and out through the Halifax port, was evolving to rail. And so we had to enable the country to essentially create the private equity, public equity platform, public equity, I think in that context of the public sector and public finance, to create the bedrock for that rail line, which formed the economic trade and the economic heartbeat of the country, allowed us to go settle and monetize the West, wheat, all the other resources, now oil, all the things that have come out of the West. Get on those railheads, go at the Vancouver ports, go back out east into eastern ports and eastern consumption. Extremely important. And so I look at how this is frame the future of 2020, and the foresight of the 36 men that represented the different parts of what became the Dominion of Canada had a foresight of, we need to get integrity around this territory. We need to create a framework in which we can manage the logistics, both from a business perspective as well as a political perspective, to create continuity, so that we have a platform to run businesses and run a basic government over top of, and to keep control of the territory that we've been ceded by the British. And how do we create platforms to use technology to leverage that opportunity that political and economic deal has created. And in 2020, we owe it to ourselves to become the best country in the world, because we have that opportunity. Our natural resources, our democracy give us that opportunity to be the best country in the world. We are one of them, no question. We can be the best, and that can become unquestionable. The Swedes can look at us, the Americans can look at us, even though they'll never admit it. And anywhere else you might think has a great society, and go like, man, I wish I was Canadian. And that's our opportunity. That's going to be painful. That's going to take struggle. That's going to take work, because becoming the best is about the struggle of going through the constant change, the constant resistance to getting better that is out there. Because if there is not pain, you're not getting better. You're not stretching your limits. You're not falling down on your face and scratching it up. You're not going fast enough and hard enough. And that is the opportunity that I want to see some political leadership for. I want to see business leadership for, and I want to be part of that. And I'm willing to contribute to that, because in 2067, when I'm looking at my grandchildren, I want to tell them that my career, my work as an adult who's now gone through the process of creating a family, creating a business, creating a career, drove part of making a better society for them, both business opportunities, political opportunities, creating a fairer society which they could grow up in and live in and prosper in, most importantly. And I think the ground has been seeded. The Americans are not going to figure this out. I'm sorry, my friends down there, but you're in trouble. I hope you figure it out, because it's all to our benefit when you do. But my responsibility is Canadian. I'm a Canadian. That's where I have to focus my attention and clean up my backyard and work on that. And I hope the other people here on Canada Day take that opportunity as well to give a little bit of thought to that, of how we can create a better deal and update the deal. I think there was an opportunity there. We've built that into our structure. Let's get after it.